walls, lacy curtains, and a pretty flowered bedspread. Where was my cot, my tactical pack? The shots sounded again, a sharp, pounding rhythm that came from just outside. Bam, bam, bam. Not gunshots, I realized, but the sound of a hammer. Stupid, stupid, Brynn. The all-too-familiar taunts of embarrassment and self-disgust came rushing back. My body was safe from war. My mind wasn't. And neither was Wilco's. Sensing my fear, my dog had jumped off the bed and now stood in the middle of the room, trembling and staring at me with wide eyes. I crawled from behind the child-sized bureau and wrapped my arms around him. "It's okay, boy." I clutched my quivering 60-pound combat-trained best friend. Weeks of intensive drills, hours upon hours of discipline, airlifts and drops from parachutes in howling desert storms, scouring rubble for the dead and the injured. All that, and my fearless companion had been reduced to a quaking mass of fur. Deaf and missing a hind leg from our IED incident, as the military so euphemistically called being nearly blown to bits, Wilco relied on his sight, and on me. I choked at the thought. As if I could even care for myself, let alone for my dog. A damned hammer noise, and I'm a blithering imbecile. Breathe. I placed my face alongside his. In. Hold. Exhale. I could still hear the doctor's voice leading me through exercises designed to control the surge of emotions that came with my flashbacks. I continued inhaling and exhaling until both of us stopped trembling. "Okay, we're okay," I stupidly whispered against his muzzle. My dog was deaf, for God's sake, and I was not okay. This was only too obvious by the fact that I was cowering in a pink bedroom in my grandparents' mobile home. I held on tight and took another minute or two of comfort before reluctantly unwinding from Wilco and hurrying to find my duffel bag. After cramming my legs into rumpled jeans, pulling on last night's sweatshirt, and tying on one of my many wool scarves, I squinted at my reflection in my dresser mirror. The lines around my eyes were more pronounced than before. The hot desert sun had baked my skin, and sleepless nights since had deepened the crevices. War had aged my features beyond my 28 years, and aged my spirit beyond recognition. Wilco pranced by the bedroom door, so I motioned for him to stay, while I quickly ducked into the hallway bathroom to do my own business. Afterward, as we made our way through the trailer home, I glimpsed into the spare room, where Gramps was still sleeping. His oxygen tank hissed a rhythmic sound, like a whispered death, death, with each puff. I should have felt sad about his failing health, but I didn't. Instead, I felt guilty. Guilty because in some small way his death would bring respite from the years of tension and resentment that had built up between us, and relief from the daily burden Gran endured taking care of him. Wilco, anxious to go out, nudged me out of my thoughts, so I led him to the front door, where he fumbled his 3 legs down the steps to the grass to relieve himself. Out on the stoop, Gran was hunched over working on something. She looked up, tossed aside the hammer, and held out her arms. I stepped down to her embrace. Her dark gray curls, still damp from her morning shower, were wet against my cheek, and she smelled of soap and rose water, a scent I remembered well from my youth. She was the only mother I'd ever known, the only anchor in my life. I clung to her just a little longer, reluctant to let go. She pulled back a little, her blue eyes sparkling with joy. "Me lakin," our Shelta language for my girl. She gestured toward her work tools. "I'm making a ramp so that dog of yours can get up these steps easier." I pressed my palms to her cheeks and leaned in until our foreheads touched. "Thank you." She gave me another squeeze, then let her arms drop. "Sorry I wasn't here when Meg brought you home last night. I'd run to the market for a few things. You were already asleep when I got back."